Hey, if you're trying to figure out how to clean out your rainwater tanks about this size, 2,500 gallons or so, I've been living this way for 6 years. I got a few tips that I'd love to show you. Come on. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Mountain Wizard. One of the most frequently asked questions is how I clean out my tanks. So I generally only do this once a year if my schedule allows, but also it depends on how dirty the tanks are. Generally, I can fit this in August because our tanks have started to get empty. And so that's where we're at right now. I have already drained this tank down as far as it would go. And then I used my sump pump and pumped the last, probably 200 gallons out of the bottom of the tank over into one of the other ones. So now we've got this basically sludge and debris layer here on the bottom. I'm going to show you what that looks like. What it looks like after 2 years. This is the main tank, so I don't use a first flush filter. Any water that comes off our roof goes directly into the tank. So yeah, we get some debris, but I also don't lose any water on those times when it's critical. So cleaning out the tank doesn't take that long. It's a fairly simple project. Sure, it's kind of nasty, but not that big of a deal. And then we can go from there. So I'll take you inside and I'll show you what the tank looks like. And then I'm going to do a little time-lapse video with this as well that just shows the whole process, the tools I've gathered up. Typically a square blade shovel, 5-gallon bucket that I'll take in there with me. I've got a brush or broom here, like a shop broom that I'll take in there with me. I can kind of put all that stuff into a pile. We don't really have leaves here, so I keep my gutters pretty clean, but we will get a lot of pine needles, and then you're going to get dirt and dust off the roof as well. So that's going to go in there. One of these days, I would like to get set up with some gutter guards that actually work. A lot of the ones I've looked at, they don't recommend because of the pine needles that we have here. They say they'll get stuck in them. So eventually I'll get to that point. But the valve shut off, so we've got no water coming in from the other tank since these are teed together, and we're pumped down, so we're ready to get started. All right, so I'm going to climb up in here. I've already set my ladder up. When you set these ladders, you want to make sure that the foot of it is against the outer wall of this tank. That way it doesn't try to slip in there while you're climbing down in. Let me get in here. So, water. So you can pretty well see what the inside of this tank looks like. So you get this sludge layer on the bottom. That's our outlet right there. I'm going to try to talk quiet where the echo isn't so bad. That is our outlet right there. That's where it goes out. We got a ball valve. And then it tees into the other tank underground. And in that tee is also where it will go down to our main cistern where the submersible pump is. Now, since that is about 6 inches off the bottom, all of this sludge or debris in the bottom of this tank settles out and it doesn't hinder with contaminating our water supply. So yep, you'll get a 6-inch layer here in the bottom. Whatever, it's really not that big of a deal. There's no bugs in here, no mosquitoes. We keep everything pretty well sealed. And it looks like I got a piece of trash from the kids throwing stuff up on the roof. And so this is the tank, okay? 2,500 gallons. This was the very first tank that we put in. Those are inlets. Those are 4-inch inlets. One from the north side of the house and one from the south side of the house. And that is what feeds this tank. I would like to get set up where I've got some sort of a screen on those that I can reach in and kind of service as time goes. But regardless, that's where we're at right now. That you can see how high the water gets. I made this pretty level. It's something that's pretty important when you're setting these tanks up. You want to be able to hold as much water as you can, especially with the cost of these tanks. So I try and get that set where, you know, we've got a little bit of an area at the top, but we're filling in as much as we can. So we're going to get this stuff scooped out, and then we'll go on with the video. All right, so go ahead and get all the equipment inside the tank. We're going to use a square blade shovel, and we'll carry out the first bucket load that's just full of debris. We'll bring the bucket back in, use the same square blade shovel, but we're going to bring the water pump in this time as well. We'll set the water pump in the bucket, and then we will shovel all that water and sludge into that bucket. That'll give it a smaller area to operate in, be able to get all that water out without us having to carry the bucket up and down the ladder. And then just use the push broom, go around the edges, try to condense the pile as much as we can, then come back in with some towels. We will throw those down and dry up and wipe up the last little bit of mud that's there on the bottom. Bring the towels out, and we can rinse them off with the garden hose before we throw them in the washing machine, and we're good to go. All right, so we're back in the tank, and we've cleaned it up. You are not going to get everything. You are just trying to get the majority of it. But this is way better than it was. And the time lapse should show you all of the process for doing that. You can get in here. I'll probably come back with a little shop vac or something and get them last little pieces. Unless I can just pick them up by hand. But that pretty well gives you a rundown on how to clean this. And should be good until next summer now. Hey, I hope you found that video helpful and hopefully that answers some questions about how to get in these tanks, clean them out safely and effectively and efficiently. So if there's any questions, please reach out, scroll down when you hit like and subscribe and you turn your notifications on for my channel. Share this channel with your other friends, but just below all of that, there's the comment section. Please leave comments. If there's something else, if I didn't answer something and you need clarity, that's what I'm here for. I've been living like this for 6 years, so I've got a few things figured out. I'm still learning more every day, but I would love to share what I know with you, help fast track your knowledge and get you up to speed so that way you can be prepared for the world that we're living in. Thank you for tuning in to the Mountain Wizard. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing where we go.